Good evening and a good Wednesday evening it is too. Hello and welcome to Crafting Together with All Brands. I'm Anthony and I'm here to do a bit of ironing. Yes, ironing is the term I used in my description, and that's what I'll be doing. But how I'm going to be using an iron is probably something you may or may not have tried before. It's something that I thought, is it going to work, isn't it going to work, after making a little bit of a mess of something, and then change that sort of like mess into something that actually worked. I thought I was really clever until then I did a YouTube search and I found that a couple of other people had actually found the same technique as well. So I'm going to be showing that with you a little bit later. Right, let's just have a quick see who is in the crafting house. So we have, let's have a look. Hello there, Kay. We've got Natalie, we've got Anne, Agnieszka, we've got Sue, we've got Lou. Hi there, Lou. We've got Sonia. I'm good, thank you. And we've got Kirsty, and we've got Angela as well. I tried, if you will, do what I think. So well, in that case then, I think Agnieszka is going to join us on this live. Only joking. Hi there, Mary. Right, like I say, I'm going to be using an iron. I'm also going to be using some glue, and I'm going to be using some napkins. Now, I don't know if anyone has ever tried working with napkins before, but sometimes they can be a little bit tricky. And like I say, that is a technique that I'm going to be showing you. So let's see what is on my crafting desk. And what I actually have here is, well, I've got to have a mould on my lives. I'm sure you all know that by now. I'm going to be using products from That's Crafty. I absolutely love their gesso because it's a real thin gesso. So if you are applying it over the top of clay, then it's not going to lose any of that definition. And I'm also going to be using some That's Crafty multi-purpose glue. Okay, as well as some Pentart products, okay, that are also available from That's Crafty as well. So like I say, I've got absolutely loads to get through. Let's just see who else in the house. Just do some waving. We've got Sheila, we've got Naomi, we've got Joan. Hi there, Joan. Okay, if they are tricky, are you going to be showing us how not to do it? Well, do you know what? If you've ever tried working with napkins, Kay, you'll know that as soon as you actually apply the wet glue and then you stick your napkin on top, if you have got too much glue and when you start to brush, your napkin will fall apart because it is the most thinnest of materials. It's not as forgiving as mulberry paper and definitely not as forgiving as rice paper. Hi there, Fiona is in the crafting house with us, as well as Elizabeth and Sheila. So let's just click on some waves back to everyone and let's get crafting. Okay, so let's just go to that camera to start with before I adjust the other one. Okay, let's now go to that one. There we go. I think that one is, let's go that way. Okay, right. So what I've already done, I have used a mold, okay, from Prima, and it's Prima Redesign. Okay, so that's the mold that I'm using here, and I've already cast myself one of the butterflies just here. Now everyone knows, and I always say it, but I'll say it again, you do always get a little bit of shrinkage with the clay. So you can just see, if I just hold that up there, you're going to get a little bit of shrinkage. That's absolutely nothing wrong with what you've actually done, and it's all about basically the water content in the clay just evaporating, and that's why it's going to shrink a little bit. Okay, right, so what I've already prepped that. I've already given it a whitewash, and I'm sure you guys know exactly how to do that. It's just a case of actually popping the clay into the mold, wait until it's dried, and even the antennae there, yes, I have got the antennae. Okay, now there is a trick to doing that as well, and I've said this time and time again, but once you actually put your clay into your mold, pop your mold into your freezer. And I think that's where we would all love to be this evening, in a freezer, because it is really, really nice and hot out there. And then I've just waited. I've then removed the clay from the mold after I've taken it out of the freezer. Then I've let that dry overnight, and then you are good to apply your paint techniques. So what I've done, I've just applied a lot of water with a little bit of white acrylic paint, washed it over, and before it's dried, I then just wiped it off. So it's going to give us that type of a look there. Okay, so I'm going to pop that aside, and I'll probably forget where I put that. So like I say, the molds are available from That's Craft as well, and the website is just about there. Okay, so that is where it is. It's that'scrafty.co.uk, and that's where lots of the products that I am using tonight actually got them from. Right, this is a piece of MDF, and I have primed it with my favourite white gesso from That's Craft as well. I don't need to show you how to do that. You guys know how to paint. So you'll notice though that, hey, gesso isn't shiny. Well, the reason is I have applied some of That's Craft's multi-purpose glue over the whole thing. And then I've let it dry, so I can now put my fingers and all my hands on it like that, and you can hear it's probably just a little bit tacky, okay, but it is essentially dry. So this is going to be the base canvas. Now we're going to get on working with our napkins. Now napkins are an amazing little device. That's not quite the right word. Well, it's a device if you're mopping your chops up, but they are a great another source of creating beautiful backgrounds really quickly. You've got rice papers. Rice papers can be a little bit expensive, but everyone has napkins. I'm sure they do. Hi there, Philip. Philip has joined us. And we've also got Kim there as well. So yeah, napkins are really great for adding instant decoration, but like I say, they're not that easy to work with. Now, when you get a napkin, and because Kay said, oh, you're going to show us getting it wrong. Well, yeah, I will, actually. So I'm just going to grab, this is totally unrehearsed. So let's just grab a piece of cardboard. Oh, there we go. That's all I could find. Now this one I have separated, so you can see my fingers underneath there already. So I'm just going to use some decoupage glue. Now Pentar, I've got to admit, probably one of the best decoupage glues that I've used. They come in loads of different varieties. Okay, so basically you can have things like the silky one, okay, which is this one here, or the matte finish. So it's entirely up to you what type of finish you want. There are also ones with glitter as well. Okay, so Pentar, like I say, is my third choice. Okay, right, so I'm just going to pop some glue. Let me just get some water open as well. So I'm just going to pop some of the decoupage glue directly onto here. Okay, so I'll just take it from the lid. Okay, so I'm just going to apply some to my piece of cardboard like that. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to pop my napkin on there, okay, just as you do. Okay, and all of a sudden, okay, you can, and that's exactly how not to do it, because I haven't waited until it's dried properly, or I've put too much of the glue on. It's done this, and believe me, it doesn't take too long to easily rip through the surface because it is so thin. Right, so how do we do it properly? Let me throw that one away. Okay, so like I say, we have here, okay, our That's Crafty glue already on our MDF sheet. So first of all, when you have your napkin, hi there, Sarah Lou. Sarah Lou has joined us as well, and I do believe, do we have Dominique as well? Oh, Dominique is floating around as well. Hi there, Dominique. So let me just pop the lid on that one. So napkins, when they come to the, you can't just use them as is. So I can't just take that and stick it down. It doesn't work like that. So what you have to do is to separate the plies. Napkins normally come in between 2 and 3 plies. It says, listen, good evening, Anthony and everyone. Apologies for being late. My phone died after Jill's live. Oh my goodness me. Well, at least Jill's phone didn't died during her live like he did once. Now she's all set up and all fancy with her cameras and her software. She's a happy bunny now. So like I say, I'm just going to separate these, so be careful when you do that. Trouble is in the house. Charmaine is here. Oh, did I say that out loud? Goodness me, I'm dreadful. Sorry, Charmaine, didn't really mean it. So we're just going to take one away. Okay, so that is one. And like I said, just be very, very careful when you do this. And obviously the napkin has got to be dry, preferably not used as well. It does help. So I'm just going to gently just take that away. Now, with those, I'll be honest with you, I normally wipe my paintbrushes with those, so I always put them aside. Never waste anything. So the intention is I want to use this, okay, and if we just like wrap it round roughly where I want to go. So I've got a beautiful frame that I'm going to be using a little bit later, which is this one here. And this was cast by Jill. Jill Humphreys actually sent me this, and it is a beautiful frame. What I've done, I have just gone over with the gesso from That's Crafty, because like I say, it's a real thin gesso, and it gets into all those nooks and crannies really well. And then I have painted over with gold. So that's what I'm going to stick in the middle there. And we've got the butterfly. You can see how this is going to go already. So that's what we're going to pop the butterfly in there, and hey presto, we're going to be done. But let's go back a few steps. Hi there, Deborah. Deborah's joined us as well. So how do we do it? Well, at the moment, as you can see, it's not sticking. It's not sticking at all. So Deborah, I'm sure you've come to watch me iron my shirt. So let me just quickly recap. What I've actually done, I put gesso down on a piece of MDF. Okay. Then I put some gesso. Then I have painted some of the That's Crafty multi-purpose glue. So it's given us that sheen, and it is totally dry. But now we're going to pop our napkin into position. Okay. So I think I'm going to go for that. I'm not going to go for that because that's already got a hole in it. So I'm going to spin it round. Okay, so you can position it exactly where you want. So I'm just going to bring the frame back into place. I'm just going to keep on going over. Okay, like so. That's about it. Okay, right. Now I'm just going to plug in the iron. The reason I haven't plugged it in is I'm using an Encaustic Arts one. I've never ever been able to achieve a good picture, by the way, with Encaustic Arts, but if you're in the know, I'm sure you can achieve that. Also, another reason I haven't had it plugged in is because it's probably going to completely short the fuse in the garage. So I didn't think that was a good idea either, because we will instantly lose the live. So if we do go out, the screen goes black, you'll know why. Right, so let's have a look. So as you can see, it's still not stuck. I'm just going to see with Encaustic Arts iron, it gets really hot really quickly. I've just got a piece of baking paper, okay, and I'm just going to start ironing that on. And I'm sure you all expect me to be ironing shirts, but no, I'm just ironing that straight onto there. So there we go, and now it's actually stuck to that. Obviously it's not going to stick to everything, so you can lift it up, lift it off just to make sure, and make sure it's nice and smooth. Obviously this is only going to work with flat surfaces, so obviously if you're going to be decorating something like a bottle, then you're going to find that a little bit more tricky. Okay, so just keep on moving that around. If you want, you can go directly onto your napkin, but I just like to pop that on just so. So obviously with the edge of the iron, you may well just like accidentally push that in. Okay, so what it's doing is basically melting that glue, okay, and it's adhering to your napkin. You'll probably also, you probably can't see from where you guys are, but there's virtually no wrinkles, and that's where a lot of people are put off by using napkins, because you're going to get those wrinkles. Now the reason, by the way, I used white gesso underneath is because if I didn't, where there is like no colour, in other words white on the napkin, that would then show through whatever colour you've got below. So that's why I've gone for white, because that is the colour that I actually wanted. So let's just have a look then. So I love, I have to take my glasses off, I'm probably going to burn a hole in this as well. I love Encaustic Arts Effects. I appeared on their poster before COVID, much to my surprise. Yes, my one and only time as a poster girl. Sarah Lee. Oh dear. There you go. So that's your claim to fame. You were the encaustic girl. Okay, so let's just have a look, and you can just feel the heat there. And I am going to turn this off in between because, like I say, I don't want to pop this down and possibly melt a big hole in my green screen that is behind me, and I don't want to do anything like that. So just make sure that the edges are really sealed down nicely, okay, because that's normally where they're going to lift off, if anything. Okay, and I'm sure everyone, like I say, has some absolutely amazing napkins, and they probably thought, oh, I wish I could actually use them, but they've always, you know, tried the other technique that I showed and failed with at the beginning. But this, like I say, is a sure technique where it's going to work nicely. Okay, right, I'm just going to turn the iron off. I'm just going to hold that up to the camera, okay, just to prove the point that, as you can see there, plenty of wrinkles in that part of the napkin, but there we have none at all. So now I'm just going to go round, and unlike when you use the wet glue technique, you won't be able to sand it down straight away. You will have to wait until it dries. I'm just going to see if I can just take this off. So just a downwards motion like so, just to break those fine fibres in the napkin. Okay, and just go all the way around, and that's how quick and easy it is. Obviously I've slowed it down. The longest part that's going to part of this process is basically letting your glue to actually dry on the surface to start with. Okay, so let's just go all the way around, and then we'll have another look and see how good or see how bad it actually is. So let's just take that away, and obviously you can use that as well for another project. So that is, there we go, the finished project there. Okay, well, I say project, that is the background that we have created, and so even in that light you can see there's no wrinkles whatsoever, even though the original napkin was pretty wrinkly. Okay, right, so let's go back to this one. So just making sure my iron is off, it's over there. Okay, it's not melting anything, because I'm sure if you've ever used them you will know they get pretty hot pretty quick. Right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to use the iron again in a moment, but first of all I'm going to grab some glue, and I'm just going to grab a non-stick sheet. Okay, let's have a look, see what people are writing just quickly. Sarah Lou says, oh yeah, everyone says wow to that. Can you use any old iron? I was going to sing that, any old iron, like a rag and bone man. Yes, you can use any iron. I've got it on the highest setting, but just experiment, Dominique. That's probably the best way. I'm now singing any old. Oh, Judith. Oh, dearie me, that's what I was doing, and now I've started everyone off. Sorry. Right. So next, I'm just going to grab a stencil. Okay, I'm sure everyone's got loads of beautiful stencils at home. I'm just going to be using just one I have in my stash. Okay, so I'm just going to apply some glue onto my non-stick sheet just here. Okay, and the reason I'm using this is because there are other glues that are called stencil glues, okay, but not everyone has stencil glues. We're actually going to do a little bit of foiling, but we're going to use exactly the same technique as we used to actually apply the napkin to our base. So I'm just going to pop some glue onto there. Okay, we don't want to pop any, let's just go back, any glue on. Now I think, let's have a look, that I have actually been kicked out of my own live, so let's just see. Are we still live? Are we? Let's have a look. I think we're still live. It's just that I got kicked out of my own live. How ironic is that? Okay, so I'm just going to position that over there. Okay, and then I'm just going to pounce that down, and you will have to press pretty quickly. We're not going to get a perfect impression. That's not what we want. Okay, so just go just a little bit up there, like so. So I don't know if we can see that, but you can Can we see that? Possibly not. Let's have a look. There we go. You can just about see a little bit of that glue just about there. But I can see it with my overhead light here. So I'm just going to apply some more. So let's just grab some more glue out of there. Okay, like so. And again, just press that in. Hello there, Laura. Laura has joined us. She wanted to see me iron. She said she was going to send her ironing to me, as did quite a few people. But believe me, you'd only do it once. So again, we're just using the glue on the sponge and we're just going through. Okay. Now, a lot of people would probably think, well, he hasn't actually sealed the napkin yet. Well, I'm going to do that last, and there's a reason for that. Because if we applied the napkin glue over the top to seal it, when we did this part, it would melt all of the glue. Okay, so that's the reason we haven't done it. So there is a little bit of work. You can probably see that one. There we go, that's better there. So that's the sort of effect we're going to foil a little bit later. So I'm just going to place that aside. Obviously, because we put glue on a stencil, then it's best to get it off. Obviously, it's water-based glue, so just a little bit of water on there and just quickly clean that off. Okay, I'm just going to use another stencil as well. Okay, let's have a look. So I'm just going to use another one that I've got in my crafty stash here, and it's sort of like got like a bill sort of on there. So I'm just going to place that down there. Again, just pop some more glue. Just make sure you've got plenty of glue actually on there. Hubby does my well, do you know what I do? I actually do ironing. I've got to admit, I do ironing. Whether I enjoy it or not is another thing, but I do it. So again, just go through the stencil using just the glue there from That's Crafty. So just pop that there, and then we're just going to go onto the top part here. Okay, let's just bring that down a little bit, and again, just make sure that you really press quite hard. Obviously, we're not after a perfect impression. It is just going to be more of a background. Okay, so let's have a look, see how much we picked up. There's enough there. So I'm going to pop that aside and just let that dry for a little bit. And in this heat, it's probably not going to take too long. Again, I'm just going to quickly just wipe over our stencil. Hi there, Jan. Jan has joined us. Laura, wish my hubby did the ironing, then I wouldn't have to. Well, can you imagine one of your sons doing it, Laura? Let's just say that. So maybe you continue to do it. At least you'll have some clothes left to wear then, unless you really did want your sons to have a go. Right, so we have this beautiful frame here. Like I say, this is from Jill, okay, and it is an amazing frame. So what I'm going to be doing this time, I'm going to be using this colour here. I was thinking about doing this black to start with, but I didn't really want to do that. And this one is chestnut brown. It's a multi-surface paint. I am going to water it down a little bit. Okay, so let's just pop a little bit on there. Yeah, well, I was gonna mention Kurt, but I really didn't need to. Right, let's just pop that down there. Okay, just pop the lid back on. Okay, and then I'm just going to spray a little bit of water on there. So we do really want quite a liquid of the paint. Okay, that's just so it gets into all of those little nooks and crannies. Okay, so I'm just gonna literally just splodge that on. And this is very similar, if anyone watched my live from a few weeks ago, where I created the Statue of Liberty like canvas. Okay, same sort of technique. It's we're just going to apply the paint and then just wipe it off. Okay, so just pop that on there. You can see that's dulled that down quite nicely, made it look a bit aged. I'm just going to quickly plug in my heat tool. Okay, I'm just going to quickly just dry this a little bit, but I'm not going to dry it fully. Okay, so let's just go round a little bit. Okay, so this, like I say, isn't going to dry it totally. When you can see it's like started to dry in places, then you can just sort of like turn that dryer off, and then you can just wipe it back, and that will then have dulled it down and also made it look a little bit more antique. So let's just grab that. Okay, I'm just going to add a little bit of dampness to that. This one is a beautiful frame, but it's sort of like got some sharp edges on there as well, so just need a little bit of water on there. Okay, and you can see instantly what it's done. Okay, so just make sure you go down some of those crevices where it is quite deep. Okay, because we don't want it completely brown, we do want some of that gold to show through. We're also going to put some waxes on there as well. Okay, so just go all the way around. Let's have a look. Jill says, my hubby, ex-military, does the ironing, takes forever, even irons socks. Oh my goodness me, wow, that is quite something, Jill. Does he iron your socks though? That's the thing. Does he iron your socks? Right, let's just add a little bit of water to that. So I'm just going to take a little bit more off. Okay, and let's just go deep in there. Like I say, there's some crevices that I don't want to be too dark. Okay, there we go. That is the difference, so than what we actually started with. I'm just going to heat that again just to dry that off. There's lots of drying processes going on here. Hi there, Carol has joined us. We've also got Miriam. Hello there, Miriam, glad you could join us. Laura says, Jill Humphreys, heart, my hubby would if I let him. What's that, do his socks? Oh goodness me. Let's have a look. Does everyone's ironing? Wow, my only use for the iron is foiling and flower making. Jill. Well, I thought that's what the irons were for, flower making, and well, maybe not. Right, okay, let's just quickly clean my non-stick mat off this. We are going to be using that again a little bit later. Okay, right, so let's have a look what time we have. We have past. Okay, right, in true style. So like I say, that's sort of like the same technique, the aging technique, as I did to my canvas last week. If you didn't see my canvas last week, here's a closer look. So always there for you. So back to this particular project here. So I've now dried that off. I've also had a drink in between that. It's like watching ITV, commercial breaks. Can't beat them. Right, so I've got two waxes here. One of them is by Redesign Prima. I don't actually think these are now available, but I love this colour. It's like a beautiful, beautiful, sort of like a slate colour really, but it's got like a hint of blue in there, and it's got this one here, which is the Indian pink that is from Finnabair. Really beautiful, beautiful waxes. So I'm just going to apply some of those. Okay, I'm not going to be spending too long with that, so literally I'm just brushing just very, very lightly, and you can see that's picking up really beautifully. May not actually use the grey one. I'm not sure. We'll see what it looks like. So just very, very lightly. And if you've never ever used waxes before, you almost want to bend your finger up so you're not actually pointing it directly onto the surface, but you'll soon get the gist of it, and it just picks up all of the highlights there, like so. So let's just go there. So I'm just going to apply that on my finger, so just very lightly, and you can see that's beautifully just picking that up. Hi there, Stacey. Stacey has joined us, as has Deborah. Glad you could join us on this beautiful evening here in the UK. So I'm just going to go around there like so, and you can see instantly that has just warmed that up again. Shall I use that greyish blue? Probably. So just keep on going there. Right, I'm going to change fingers. Okay, we'll just take the polish off of that one, and let's just see. Like I said, this is actually designed for furniture really, but obviously you can still use it. Oh yeah, that's quite nice. I do like just a little tad of that as well. So now you can see we've made that rather brash gold that we started with. We've really toned it down, really aged it beautifully and really quickly as well. So it's all about just having the right products. Like I say, all the products, or most of the products, shall I say, that I've used on the live tonight are available from That's Crafty. Website is in the corner of the screen. I think it's just down, just there. Ooh, no, there it is, just there. Okay, so there is our frame. Okay, so we've really aged that, and now it's looking exactly as we want it. Okay, so I'm just going to place that aside. Okay, you don't need to seal them. Okay, so let's just pop those, and the waxes this evening, because of the heat out there, seriously, they're really like a soft butter. Normally they're a little bit harder, but they're still great. Let's see what Jill says. Jill says the effect you are creating is lovely. Oh, thank you very much, Jill. And like I say, Jill was kind enough to give us this beautiful frame, and I'll just flip it over just so you can actually see how it started life. Okay, so it actually started as a piece of resin. Okay, so it's white resin, very, very shiny, like I say, and then we went over it with gesso, the gold paint, then the beautiful chestnut brown, washed over that, and then we went over with those two waxes there. So it's all about building everything up. Let's just have a look at some comments here. Anthony, are you at the NEC at the weekend? No, I'm not. Is that the craft show? Is it the craft show already? Goodness me. But no, sadly I'm not. Hi there, Patricia has joined us. Hello there, Patricia. And Pip Art is also here. Stacey, hello there, Stacey. Could you use a silver or other colour of wax with the polish, or is it just the black? No, you can apply. If are you saying, Stacey, if you have black resin? Because if you have black resin, then you can go straight on with the waxes, and they are going to really, really pop. I prefer to actually put a couple of colours down, just because my personal choice is because it just ages it a lot better. That's what I find. But it's all about just having a play, really, Stacey. So I'm just going to pop that aside, and let me just clean my fingers. Just put it in the water pot there, as all crafters do, as long as it's not your coffee. Okay, right. So we're going to bring back in these pieces here. Okay, and you can just about see there, there we go, if I hold it there, we can just see where my stencils are. Okay, so let's now pop back in the, oh, here we go, the iron. I'm going to be using some foils if I can find them. Okay, so I've just got some foils here. I've got a couple of colours. I have like a magenta that works really nicely with the flowers. I've also got a gold there. I've got a silver. I don't think I'm going to use a silver. The gold is going to pick up on the frame. Okay, and it will also pick up on the Indian, what's it called again? Indian pink wax there. Okay, so that's the colours that I'm going to go. So, right, let's just have a look here. It says you can use any colour of wax, depends on the effect you want. Absolutely, Joan. You can use any colour wax, depends on the effect you're looking for. Yeah, that's right, Jill. Hi there, Brianna. Brianna has joined us from America. Who in the world decided to trust Anthony with an iron? Well, I haven't burnt my fingers yet, but I'm glad you said iron because it is actually on. Right, so let me just, I'm going to pop this one here. Okay, so with your coloured foils, don't think that because that is the colour foil you stick it down that way. You actually don't. Okay? You actually stick it down silver side down. So that shows, and if in the case of the silver foil itself, the mirror is the one looking at you and the matte silver you want side down. So let's just quickly just go over that. Okay, and we'll just see what sort of effect we're actually going to get. So this is the text, hopefully. Okay, we don't need the baking sheet, but if you find that your iron is actually sticking a little bit to your foil, which it shouldn't do, then by all means just go for that. So let's just peel that back, and there we go. That's the sort of effect we're getting. Okay, so there we go. That's the foiling. Okay, so let's just go back up. Obviously we've got this big gap now in the foil, so I'm just trying to see where I'm going to place that. Okay, so again, just go over that. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is a napkin. Yes, Stacey. You'll have to go back to the beginning of the live to actually see how I applied it, but the technique is really easy. So again, just wait until that has cooled a little bit. Okay, and then we can peel that off. If you want to go back in there, then just simply pop the foil back over like on a solid part and just go back over. Okay. If you don't think you've picked up as much detail as you want, as long as the glue is there, then it is going to be doing that. I bet you're all thinking at home, gosh, I wouldn't trust Anthony with the blouses on my shirts. Well, I've got to admit, I don't blame you. Right, let's just pop that on there. Okay, so that is our one colour foil. Okay, and then we have our sort of like magenta colour that I'm just going to stick there. So again, just pop that on, just go over it slowly. Heat setting again is pretty hot. You can actually do this cold, but like I said, it just depends what glue you have. It's the tacky glues that are available. They're normally, I'll be honest with you, a little bit more expensive. So this is just another way of achieving it, just by using a glue like I have this evening, which is the glue from That's Craft, which is their multi-purpose one. Okay, so just pop that there. We're just going to go up here, and again just stick that down, and then we're just going to firmly press that, and you'll see once you've actually stuck to the foil, because like I say, it's actually just melting that glue that is on there, just so then you can peel that back. Let's just have a look at the effect, and do you know what, that is the effect that I'm after. So I'm just going to turn off the iron now. Okay, no more ironing, folks. That's it. If you let's just make sure it's also not touching anything that's going to melt, because like I say, those irons from caustic arts get really hot. Okay, so what have we actually achieved? Let's just have a look. There we go. Okay, so you can see there we've got the gold foil at the top. We have the pink foil at the bottom there. There you go, it's shining away. So that is how easy it is to actually apply that. And so where did you buy the foil from, Anthony? Right, okay, yes, I actually got it from a collection from That's Crafty. It comes with a bundle of ITD papers, so have a look on their website and they are there. The other places you can buy them are sort of like in the range. Sometimes you can pick them up in craft shops, but that's where I got them in sheet form from That's Crafty, like I say, in with an ITD collection. Okay, right, so we are there for that part. I'm just going to bring in my non-stick sheet. Okay, because now is the time that we are going to apply the varnish. But like I say, the reason we didn't apply it before is because if we'd put the varnish over the whole lot, then when we did the ironing technique to bring out our little details there, if there was glue over the whole lot, when we'd start to iron, you would just get a solid block of foiling, and that's why we didn't do it that way round. So I'm just going to go for the matte. I personally prefer matte. It's entirely up to you. And the other thing is, because your foil, okay, although it's stuck on, it's not really that permanent. So this is like sealing that in just to make sure that it is going to stay in there. So again, be fairly careful, okay? So don't apply too much pressure when you actually apply the decoupage glue. So the reason I didn't use decoupage glue, okay, and this is the total and honest truth, it's because the decoupage glue is slightly more expensive, okay, and that is really for if you're going to be using rice paper. And in this instance, because I was going to do that technique as I showed you, where I put the That's Crafty glue down first, the That's Crafty glue is cheaper per milliliter, sorry, so that's why I've used that glue. Okay, so just going to pop that down. Don't go too wild, because otherwise it can have a tendency to actually bubble up the surface. So again, it's just a case of applying it just a little at a time. We've got Jane Royston who has joined us. Hi there, Jane, glad you could join us. We have Elaine as well. Evening, sorry, I only just got the invite. We'll watch now and rest later. No worries, no worries. I'm sure most of you, like I say, have just tuned in to see that I was going to be ironing a shirt and how badly I was going to achieve it. I swear. Right, so like I say, don't apply this too thickly, because you're applying moisture to the surface there. If you apply too much, then like I say, it will have a tendency of bubbling up a little bit. Okay, you can force dry this if you should so wish. Again, just don't get too close to the surface, because otherwise it can sometimes bubble up. Okay, so let's just go over that. Right, in this heat, it's not going to take that long to actually dry, so I'm just going to pop that aside. What's Jill saying? Look for the Tonatex foils and Spellbinders foils for glimmer. Yay, and you can get so many. Hi Anthony, everyone, sorry I'm late, was eating dinner. We'll let you off, Louisa. Hello and welcome. Linda, hello there, Linda. Linda's joined us as well. Right, okay, so we have all of those elements. I'm just going to bring our little butterfly back in, because I think I'm just going to give it a little hint of the Indian pink, I think it was. So, and you notice what I tend to do. I tend to like just put it onto the lid as well. So I'm just going to just a little hint of that, possibly just on the upper part there of the wings. Okay, so not too much, so I don't want to change the colouring, I want to keep that there. So again, it's just like bending your finger up so you're not actually pointing directly, and then I find that tends to work quite nicely. Okay, I don't know if I said hello to you, Judith, but I will say it now just in case I didn't before. Hi there, Judith. Judith is watching as well. So that is that part there. So we've just given our little butterfly some bit of colour to that part. Then I'm just going to go in this part here. And like I say, the waxes are really soft this evening. It's purely because of the the heat out there. So let's just go over there. And like I said, the technique on popping your mould in the freezer is available on my YouTube channel. And for those of you who don't know about my YouTube channel, I do have one, and here's the info. Did you know we have our own YouTube channel? Head over there to find Facebook Lives, inspiration, craft demos, exclusive videos and product reviews. Whilst you're there, remember to click the like button, subscribe to our channel, and make sure you click the notifications button to receive notifications of brand new videos. Like, subscribe, get notifications. youtube.com/c/mixed media arts and crafts. So I'm just now drying this. Surprisingly, it is taking a little bit longer. Maybe there's a little thick part in the middle there. So just using a heat tool. Like I said, I'm not getting too close. Okay, just so it just doesn't bubble up any of that work. Okay, just a little bit in the middle there, obviously where I went a little bit on the thick side. So just keep on just going over with that. Okay, so I think we're just about done there, and we're 10 to 8, so we shouldn't be too much longer. So I do appreciate all of you watching, even if it was just to see if I put a hole in a shirt using an iron. But it's not happening, folks. Right, so let's just pop that aside. I'm just going to use a sponge. Okay, we're just going to raise this up. Okay, so I'm just going to use that, which is basically just a tape reel. I'm just going to pop some white acrylic paint on. Okay, so just going to bring in the border there. Okay, so let's just pop some more on there. That should be enough, hopefully. Okay, let's just load this sponge up. I'm literally just going to, like I say, pop it on that reel there, just so I can go around the edge. Okay, so I just want a white border just all the way around. Just go over a few times, and then it's just going to soften that edge. And because you've now got the sealant or decoupage glue, if you go too wild, you can wipe it back. Okay, so don't worry if you've gone a little bit too wild, you can wipe that back at the moment. So let's just go round there. Yes, I am covering up some of the foil because that is what I want. I wanted that underneath, although I could have actually popped it so it's on the top, but it all just depends on the look you are looking for. And obviously, if you wanted to knock back the whole of the image, maybe the whole of the image is a little bit too bright for you, then just go over with a whitewash of paint, and that's going to do exactly the same. So just keep on going, just twist that round. Okay, let's just pop that in there and just go all the way along. And you'll notice it's not any fancy sponge, it's just one that I had knocking around. So it's just a case of using what you have sometimes. So just keep on just going around there, so it's giving that nice graduated sort of like effect. Okay, so it's just softened the whole look of it, made it look a little bit more dreamy. Okay, so just keep on going around there, because obviously the less paint, or the more times you go around, the more paint you're applying, therefore the less paint there's going to be. So the more you keep on going, the more graduated effect that you are going to achieve. Okay, so just keep on going there, just loading that up again. Okay, so we've got a real solid outer white edge, and then just keep on going like that. So there is the main part that we've done there. So let's just tidy some of this up. Okay, I'm now looking for some leaves that I know I made, but do you think I can think where I put them? Let's have a hunt. Hold on one moment. Okay, I have leaves. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Right, so these are some leaves that I created a little bit earlier on. And what I've done there, we started off with some green clay. Now, how you mix green clay is really nice and simple. You get this little chart here, and this is from a company called Artista Soft here in the UK, who sell hearty clay. And in that, okay, let's just flip that over. Okay, you have this chart, and the colours you actually get are yellow, magenta, which is a pink, cyan, which is a blue, and then it will tell you what colours to mix. Okay, in this little container you also get there, so like little wells, and you pop the appropriate colour into the appropriate well, mix it up, then you can achieve the right colour. And obviously to get a green you want a yellow and a red, and depending on the tone then you can either pop a blue or a blue or a black. Okay, so it's that easy to mix. Okay, so that is just about dry. I'm just going to go around that again. So like I say, getting back to the leaves here, so the leaves started off green, and these are fancy molds because they're actually textured on both sides, so you can actually have a 3D effect there. And then what I've done, I've just brushed in a lighter colour green. Okay, and then I went over with a darker just around the edges, just so it looks a bit more natural and just a solid green. And then you can see it's just got that little bit of a glaze going on there as well. Okay, right, so getting back to said project, we have our beautiful little frame just there. What I am going to do, okay, is just clean my brush just quickly. I think, let's have a look. Do we need to do, oh, maybe not, because I'm going to pop some leaves in. Okay, and then we're going to pop the butterfly on top. Okay, so I'm just going to use some silicone type glue here on the resin. Resins are going to be held with lots of different mediums, gloss gel, 3D glue gels, that sort of thing, or silicone. I wouldn't necessarily be using hot glue with them because you'll find that probably it's going to come unstuck after a time. So let's just pop that in there, find the center-ish, okay, like so. Now I'm not going to bore you all to death and stick everything on, okay, so I'm literally just going to place things because I'm wary of the time, and I'm sure loads of you probably want to go out in your gardens and catch the last few rays of sun that are out there. So I'm just going to place a couple of these. It normally takes me a long time, I'll be honest, to do this because I get carried away, to be honest. I'm sure we all know how it is. And obviously I don't want to cover up too much also of that beautiful frame as well. So like I say, I'm just going to place these. I'm not going to stick them down, just so you can see the overall effect that I was trying to achieve. Okay, and obviously if you guys got any questions regarding the napkin technique, then please shout. Okay, and I'll answer that. Let's have a look. Sun leaves our garden at 6 PM. Oh, so like I say, I'm not going to bore everyone and stick everything down, but that is the overall effect, what we're sort of after. So it's quite simple really, but it was more to do with the technique of using your napkins as a background and getting it really flat, because you know I've been there, I've done it, and I showed you at the beginning because Kay said show us the wrong way to do it, which I did. Okay, and you can see this technique is pretty accurate in the way it's going to then translate throughout everything, because you're not going to get those wrinkles. Sometimes you may want wrinkles, okay, so in that case scrumple up your napkin and then place it down the glue, but this is going to give you a nice flat work surface to actually work on. Okay, so that is our project. Like I say, I will stick those down in my own time because you guys don't need to be told how to stick down anything. But like I say, it was just a technique style video just to show you how to use the napkins and also how to use your PVA glues or your That's Crafty glue, and that's the one I actually used. It is the That's Crafty multi-purpose glue. How you can actually use it to stick foil, because if you've ever tried to actually stick that with foil, it doesn't actually stick that well at all because it's too wet to actually cling on to the glue. But if it's dried, then you use the iron, trusty iron, okay, then you're going to be able to easily achieve that effect. So let's have a look. I think that's probably about it. Okay, I'm just going to pop that down there. Like I say, I'm going to finish that off. So that is the said project. We'll just move those things out of the way so you guys can hopefully get a better view of it. I don't know which way I'm actually going. There we go. That's it sort of there, isn't it? So that is, I think, me sort of done. Hopefully, let's have a look. Have we got the, yeah, we've got the green screen back. Okay, right, I'm just going to grab my phone just very, very quickly. Take my glasses off because I'm sure you're all aware I can't see a damn thing. Right, let's just have a look back. I like wrinkles on bottles. I'm glad you said bottles, Joan. Let's have a look. Very great, absolutely stunning project, Annie. Thank you so much. That's a pleasure. Salute. Judith says beautiful. She says gorgeous. Love it. Joan, yeah, the wrinkles. Maybe I should use it on my forehead next to the iron and maybe get rid of some of those. Blanche says beautiful. Thank you very much. Louisa, more windy across our garden. Not so much sunshine, but it was a great dry day. Well, I know that Jill had an amazing sunny day up in where she is. Please go and check her live out. And talking of lives, before I go any further, let's just have a look at the schedule on That's Crafting Together with All Brands. So looking back there, we had Tuesday we had Carly and we also had Dee. Then earlier on today we had Sam. So please go and check those ones out. And the ones coming up later in the week is Julie from JMC, we've got Lynette from Pretty Gets Gritty, we've got Karen Keats there, and we've got Donna Nicholson from Olifanchi. We've got Kay. Kay is on her normal slot, 1 PM on Saturday, and then we've got Charmaine at 7, and then rounding off the week we have the amazing Lou Sims on Sunday at 11. So that's your week ahead on Crafting Together All Brands. Exciting week, lots of different types of craft, all what we want to see. Right, let's have a look then. We've got Kay says, I agree, Joan. You wouldn't know it was a napkin. No, you wouldn't know it's a napkin. Carol, Louise says beautiful. Thank you, Annie. Sorry I have to go. Beautiful project. Take care, everyone. Absolutely, thank you. I've got loads of washing dried again. Yeah, it's a brilliant day, isn't it, to put your washing out. Thank you, says Elaine. Sonia also says Fab Live, enjoyed watching. Thank you for your demo, absolute pleasure. Dominic says lovely techniques and picture, very informative as usual. Thank you, you're absolutely welcome. Kay Stacey, do you sell the molds, or if not, where do you get them from? Well, all the molds that I have got here are from That's Crafty. The website, I do believe, is just there. Okay, that's crafty.co.uk. Beautiful down here in Western Super Mud. Right, Judith says great live. Thanks so much for showing us various techniques. And Jones says brill. So I'm going to leave it at that. Like I say, thank you all so much for watching. Please take care and keep crafting, and hopefully I will see you all again real soon. Okay, thanks very much for watching.